You are halfway through a shift that feels like every other shift before it, same glow of monitors, same low hum of servers, same stack of flagged transactions waiting to be cleared, escalated, or quietly ignored depending on how aggressive you want your performance review to look this quarter. You've learned the rhythm of it so well that nothing here ever feels urgent unless someone above you decides it is. Most of your job is sorting noise from pattern, pattern from coincidence, coincidence from liability, and you've gotten good at pretending those distinctions matter. At 2:17 a.m., the system stops behaving like itself. At first it looks like a display glitch, a flicker across your central dashboard that refreshes and reorders numbers in ways that make no procedural sense. Accounts you recognize, sovereign funds, dormant trusts, institutional wallets, begin rearranging ownership structures as if the underlying logic has been rewritten in real time. Your instinct is immediate: rollback, restore, contain. But when you reach for the rollback option, it isn't gone, it's grayed out, as if your permissions have been altered while you were still logged in. Before you can escalate, a second window opens automatically without input, showing Global Beneficial Ownership Update. Then your name appears. It is embedded across asset layers spanning funds, holding companies, and sovereign-linked instruments you've only ever seen marked classified non-visible. At first you assume simulation, stress test, some forgotten drill designed to measure response under cognitive overload. But then your secure terminal pings, live, authenticated, external. A legal escrow request routed through channels that do not typically reach your level. Your name is on the receiving end. You do not accept or reject it. There is no procedural category for this. Only the realization that errors like this do not occur alone, they occur as consequences of something breaking far above your access level. You open the audit trail expecting intrusion or corruption. Instead, you find continuity. A chain of legal authorization stretching through dormant trusts and shell entities, all structurally intact, all valid, all converging on a single ultra-private wealth architecture tied to a man whose obituary you once skimmed and forgot. Except now that obituary has an amendment attached, and your name is inside it. Your body reacts before your mind does. This is not theft. Not hack. Not accident. It is design. A legal structure engineered to survive death, jurisdiction, and interference, with a single conditional trigger that has identified you as the only valid downstream anchor. Then your internal comms override everything. A priority channel you've never seen before activates, instructing in precise legal language: confirm temporary asset stewardship acceptance or all associated infrastructure will be locked pending investigation. You understand the implication instantly. Refusal assumes there is somewhere higher to return control to. There isn't. So you accept. Nothing in the room changes, but everything in your access does. New dashboards unfold in layers like doors opening inside a building that was always there but never visible, global liquidity maps, risk exposure systems, institutional models recalculating in real time around your identifier. You are no longer looking at a portfolio. You are looking at a global financial nervous system, and it is reacting to your existence. Minutes later, the first call arrives. Emergency compliance routing. No greeting. Multiple voices identifying authority structures without naming agencies. One voice finally asks if you understand what has happened. You answer that you don't. After a pause, the explanation comes: you have inherited controlling exposure over a consolidated asset structure previously held under multi-jurisdictional concealment, and the system has identified you as the sole valid downstream anchor. That word, anchor, lands heavily. It implies stability. Weight. Irreversibility. Over the next hours, external systems begin probing you. Not attacks, verification. Banks confirming legitimacy. Governments recalculating exposure. Institutions adjusting risk models around your existence instead of your actions. Markets begin to move not because of what you do, but because of what you might do. Your silence itself becomes volatility. A junior analyst message appears internally: is this a sovereign transition event? You delete it. That is your first conscious act of concealment. By dawn, you are no longer an employee. You are a containment problem. Security protocols instruct you not to leave your residence. Legal frameworks appear unrequested: protective custody, fiduciary oversight, stabilization measures. Each one framed as support, each one reducing your agency without saying so directly. You begin to understand the real currency is not money. It is control over decision-making itself. When you trace the structure deeper, you find no error, only architecture. A legal system designed to survive death and jurisdiction, built around a single conditional trigger that recognizes one identity as valid successor, yours. Which leaves only three explanations: someone chose you, someone predicted you, or someone engineered a system that only resolves when you exist inside it. Representatives arrive in person, but stop short of your home. Lawyers, negotiators, compliance officers speaking carefully as if tone could affect global stability. They offer trusteeship, shared governance, protective oversight. All language designed to sound cooperative while repositioning you away from the center of control. You ask what happens if you refuse everything. The silence that follows is longer than it should be, because that is the one variable no system has fully accounted for yet. That night, you authorize a partial liquidity freeze, not to stabilize anything, but to observe reaction. Within minutes, global hedging systems respond. Portfolios rebalance. Risk models shift. Entire markets adjust to your inaction as if it were an event. By now, you understand something fundamental: you are no longer observing the system. The system is observing you. Days blur. Sleep loses structure because nothing else does. Alerts continue arriving, each one demanding interpretation of consequences you did not initiate but are now responsible for resolving. And beneath it all, a pattern begins to emerge: not that systems respond to you, but that something is watching how you choose. On the 15th night, a message appears on an offline terminal that should not be connected to anything at all. No origin. No signature. Just a single line. You were never supposed to be temporary. And for the first time, you consider that the event was never inheritance. It was activation. And that thought doesn't leave you. It repeats in the background of every alert, every recalculation, every carefully worded advisory that arrives through channels pretending to be support. Activation. Not inheritance. Not accident. Something closer to a switch being flipped inside a system that had been waiting long enough to stop believing it wouldn't be used. The next morning, there is a new layer in your interface you don't remember authorizing. It is small compared to everything else, almost understated. A single readout labeled, Continuity Feedback Loop. Beneath it, live metrics begin to update whenever you hesitate, whenever you delay, whenever you choose not to act. You realize then that even your indecision is being measured. A call attempts to route through. You don't answer immediately. It rings once, twice, then disconnects, followed by a message that simply reads, "We are adjusting to your decision latency." No signature. No agency. Just adaptation. And for the first time, the system doesn't feel like it is reacting to you anymore. It feels like it is learning you.